Put some caulking on the bottom of the countertops, glued that down. Backsplash, same thing. Run some tape. Got my caulking all in there. Got the caulking around here for the sink. Like I said, I try to assemble this whole thing so that I don't have to worry about it. Stick her in there. See how it fits. Clean that up. Put some bead caulk around there. It's the only spot that nope, I oozed out a little over here too. Yeah, well, we'll clean that up. All right, finished caulking that. I was gonna caulk that, but it looks like they put trim on it. I'll have to check the one upstairs, see if they put trim on that one too. And then I gotta get the sides put on here. I gotta get some, well, I got some stain for that. We're gonna try to hopefully match the stain for that side. And this thing will be done. It's gonna be hard to get anything done around here now. Say hello. You say hello. You scaredy cat. He's a scaredy cat. Where's your brother at? Peekaboo. Oh, there's no one. You're the brave one. The striped ones are always the brave ones. The other ones you gotta watch out for. Yep, it's gonna be real hard to get stuff done now. Mummies around here somewhere. But no chipmunks, no squirrels. Good sign. Now we can get rid of the bark. We'll be all right. So a quick, easy way of doing your banister. So you want to know what your angle is. Most of these phones have a degree gauge built right into it. It says level. This guy's pretty steep. We're looking at 44 degrees. Take your handrail, put it at 44 degrees. Now you're gonna run parallel with your steps. It's just that easy. We got a delivery today, countertops. So if you watched the video on measuring this, you know it was tight at the corner. We had that gap in the back. This can go around a little bit tighter, but so I gotta file off or belt sand off these edges until we get this to set in.
1 week later.
You know you've been coming to the same place a little too long when you can back up like this down the road. That's called being familiar with the driveway. Yep, we're here again. Let's see what kind of carnage we can unleash today. What we're going to attempt to do is figure out this gap. It's almost touching back here. It's tight here. Let's put the dog bolts on and let's see. Hopefully it'll pull it together. If not, I hate to have to return this thing. But before we begin that, let's look at, oh yeah, looks nice. See now, PC did this. It was my idea as well, but him and I thought a lot alike, which is scary. But that worked out real nice and pretty. Got all the trim, 1x and quarter round. Looks pretty decent. About ready for Matthew to paint. We had some of the old original baseboard here and there, but we're gonna try to piece in places in the same rooms that already have some of it missing. And I think this room is all, I'm going to keep it about the same except for this here. It drops down to about 1.5 inches from, I think it was like 4.5 inches. So I'm going to have to try to like cut something at an angle and stick on top of it. We would have pulled that piece off of there, but when you do, you tend to tear the living daylights out of the old plaster and stuff. It's a real nightmare sometimes. So we were a little scared to do it. I've done it, but it's a pig and a poke whether or not you successfully pull that off, because man, they spike nailed that stuff on back in the day. I swear the trim is on better than the frame some of this stuff in here. Oh, hey, that looks better. If you got some primer on that, good deal. Waiting for PC He's not here yet. Yeah, you know what? I got news for you. JR keeps him on time. When he comes by himself, he comes late. He don't want anybody to know that, so it's our little secret. So anyway, yeah, he sent me a text with a picture of that register and saying this was PC approved. And then he laughed and sent me a picture of that and said, that's not PC approved. I know, I didn't cut this at the angle down. I kind of liked it rough looking and just going like that personally. I don't know if you guys want to comment and say which way you like it better, but personally on this one, I thought since it was just a round piece of rod, I thought it looked better that way instead of cutting it at the, you know, at the right angle there. Personal choice. Okay, I did a dry fit over here with the other piece. I put the dog bolt in. These are what we're talking about right here. They go up in the way they cut those out. And then you just tighten it up. And I tried, remember we had a gap, it was right in about here. I put that in there and tightened it up and it pulled it together nicely. So I think what was throwing us off, if you can see, that'll flex a little bit. And that's what was throwing us off. We had it tight up against the wall, it was pushing that tight. So we thought that the gap was screwed up on this, but yeah, it all pulled together nicely. And we got this little piece right in here to kind of biscuit it together. And anyhow, I had to gouge out a little bit of the drywall back in here. And I took and sanded a little bit of this off right there. This is just kind of my first draft here. And I cut some of the drywall out here, and well, I'll tell you what, we're getting already a lot better. So we've got about a 1/4 inch gap. So if we really wanted to get crazy, if you remember from the other video, we could kind of go like this and make a scribe line and file that all along there. I don't think we need to go quite that much. About half that distance will be caulkable. So take a little more off of there, down that end and this end. I think we got it. Uh-oh, that didn't sound good. I'm good. Okay. Matthew's good, everybody. Don't worry about him. So that's what we got to file off. I don't know if you can see that pen line there or not, but all the way from here to the corner, and from here to that corner. So we'll get the belt sander. It's so tight back in the corners over here, I had to use a little bit of sandpaper. I pulled that out to get the very edges there, because when you pull this countertop out, you don't have a whole lot of room. It's too heavy for me to just lift this thing out of here. So I kind of pulled it back, ran the sander, I had it back further than this, but ran the sander, and then just to get the edge back here, I use that Dremel. Yeah, so now let me get the sanding. Take a little bit off of there.
Am I allowed to requisition a second bench from Keith?
So we pulled it out, got all those dog bolts in, pulled that seam in nice. Sliding it back in was a bear. That's why I didn't film it. We got a little mark there on the wall. Other than that, not bad for as tight as it was. It's a tight fit. And I cleaned everything else up. And now I'm using this sealer stuff. They have this seam filler, and I've never personally used it before. It dries like instantaneously. And I left the lid off just for a minute and it's already setting up. Stuff's tough, but let's get down in those gaps. Problem is it dries so fast you can't clean it off. You try wiping it off and it just smears. Well, somebody else out there's got a tip to using this stuff. Probably never get it off my fingers. I'll tell you what, tub of towels is a pretty good product. Those work really well. They clean your hands up, clean everything up real nice. You won't scrape the countertop and you won't damage like glass either. It's a great way of cleaning off glass. Just keep cleaning this up. See how that come out. I wipe it down with a couple of towels. But a lot of times caulk your countertops down. This is the old-fashioned brackets. Now where they go? Here's one. Got these old-fashioned brackets. You can screw them down in the corners. So being that we had to fight this in, for me it was a good idea to just go ahead and use the screws and screw this down. I like that better than trying to caulk it, because if I'd have caulked it and then tried to slide it in, it would have been a messy situation. So let me clean this mess up and see what it looks like after we caulk it. So I've got my screws all up in the corners here. Trick is make sure you get the right ones lengthwise so they don't come out the top of the countertop. That would be bad. But that seemed cleaned up pretty darn nice, I think. And that's what I do. I'd like to make a nice crisp line, so I tape it all off and caulk it. And I think this is going to turn out pretty nice. Like a little bit more on this. It's on how much finger pressure. Get that one. How much finger pressure you put on it, so how much caulking you get in there. Pretty good, actually. Okay, guess we'll start at this end. Way to polish a turd. I like it. Right?
Good.
Okay, starting to get this sink together. Got the baskets in there. Tightened everything else up. Got my hoses on already. My tailpipe pieces, tail tubes. These doors, you can see the difference. I didn't stain those yet. Boy, they need cleaned and stained. Anyway, putting these pieces back in. I couldn't find the brackets or anything, so I cheated big time. So I just put a screw in every corner and just didn't run it in too far, so that nothing cracked out here or anything, but they're in there. It's a cheat and a half, but tell you what, they're good. So I changed the trap around. This way I'll have a P-trap instead of an S-trap. This one obviously need to cut to center this up, but I can get that once we get the sink in. But I wanted to make sure I got these pieces in. Now I'm going to run a little bead of caulking around here, and I got these fun little clips to hold that sink in. So, okay, they're under like that, There we go. They got a flat head. You'll be underneath tightening these down. And they slide in this little track. So, funnest part is just trying to get back up under here with the sink and under here, because it's just, you can see it's going to be a tight fit. There we go. It's a tight fit with the sink in there. Okay, let's let the fun begin. What?
Yeah.
That going down to the basement, I mean, I'll have to look at it more closely. But it looks pretty good.
Oh, really? Yeah, it is pretty good.
It has like a gloss paint on that wall.
Yeah, it is pretty good actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is actually pretty good.
I'm amazed actually.
It came out so clean, really.
I mean,
compared to what it was really bad. I mean, from here,
yeah,
like,
I mean, you can't see because it's dark in this room, but this looks better, but this? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Shiny and nice, and
Yeah.
for the basement, I'll tell you what, I'd probably just clean it and not worry about it.
Okay.
'Cause you know what, the paint's not going to stick to it, it's all shiny.
Oh, okay.
If you paint it, it's just
Yeah,
it's going to peel.
clean it up a little bit better.
Yeah, I would just clean it up better.
I tell you, there was a
and-
puddle of black.
Oh, I'll
just
bet.
from here all the way down all the steps. It was like it was just dripping.
Well, you can see right here on the switch. I mean, it's just completely.
Yeah, it was just
completely black.
filthy. I mean, that door was black.
Yeah.
Another
another
clean
clean
up
will do
here
it.
and stuff. And I mean, you can see how black it used to be, and I mean, it was way worse. I mean, I put soap on it and then I rinsed it off afterwards, and it just. Like, I had to fill my bucket 3 times.
I'd like to know, did nobody ever clean this house, or did the oil furnace blow up?
Well,
Or
it was a farm, bro.
I know,
So,
but I mean,
you
it's
know,
just
like,
so dirty. It's
I mean,
like
how many people that run a farm are too concerned with cleanliness, you know?
you might just alienated half our viewers, my friend. Nothing against farmers.
Nothing against farmers. It's not the cleanest people in the world.
Don't look at me. I didn't do it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, even oozed out a little of our caulk. Or Macaulay Culkin. Cool. Ha! Boston. One coat on her, huh?
Yeah, it's starting to look not too bad.
Well, a little bit nicer than seeing that border.
Yeah,
I mean, first coat you can kind of see a slight haze of it, but I think it'll come out.
Second coat should take it out.
But yeah,
Second coat should take it out.
yeah, I think so.
It's getting there.
Look at that.
It's getting there.
So you know, PC went upstairs and he's like, "I'm going up into the air conditioning." Ha ha ha! Right? You know, yeah.
Do you actually put the air conditioner on?
No, the heat stroke ruined me. No, that air conditioner that we found.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just messed up. It was leaking water everywhere in the inside when you try to put it in the window. So even though it worked, it just piddled all over the place. So you know why I don't need air conditioning? Why? Because I have hair conditioning, or you could call it bear conditioning. Bear conditioning. Boo! Where's the Huck? Take him off the stage. Time to check for leaks. See any? I don't see any. checked one more big thing off of our checklist today. Now we could just get the hinges for the doors. We could put all these on and everything would look great. Once those come in, we'll do that, and this kitchen will be basically done. Well, I don't know. He's got to get some kind of a microwave for here. That's about it, though.
Approximately 10 hours later.
Okay, back at the farmhouse. On that countertop, we've got the ends that we iron on. It glues on. This one, I don't know. Not as tight right there as I'd like it. But basically, I cut it close, so they have less filing to do. But that one I want to stay up real nice and tight. The rest of it come out pretty good. Basically, I like to set that on there, trace it out with a pencil, and then cut off the excess with tin snips. Works pretty good. At least that's what works for me. And we got JR getting the steps all done. He got all that bull nose stuff done and stapled down. Looking good, brother.